Yeah. It's like you go.
I'm recording.
All right. Hey, NSC Fan TV. Scott.
Drew.
Here with Drew. And I've got lots of questions for Drew. It's the 5-1 total dismantling of the Chicago Fire tonight. Hani Mukhtar, an amazing hat trick, fastest hat trick in MLS history. Drew, tell me about Hani Mukhtar's game tonight.
He had too good of a game, honestly.
Too good of a game!
They left way too many avenues open in the box. I mean, he destroyed them. There's not much else to say. I mean, his little step over for the second goal.
Nasty!
That was
Filthy!
ankle breaking dirty. That's what that was. I mean, and then the free kick. We were talking about he loves hitting the post. You know, but
Three times off the post tonight, one went in the goal.
thrice off the post. Got one of them. Honestly, though, I mean, I know he got a hat trick. I shouldn't ask for a haul, but it should have been.
You're getting greedy.
I'm getting greedy. I'm sorry to Chicago fans. They did their best, but it should have been 6-0. But Hani Mukhtar, I mean, he tore up the defense. The free kick was amazing. I mean, hitting the post, that's okay. You just bounce it off and score.
Okay, so Hani Mukhtar had a great game. Let's talk about our newcomer. On right wing, Alice a couple observations that you and I were talking about during the game. He played pretty tentatively. Most of his passes were back. Most of everything that he did in the game was positive, but most of his passes were back. And he had the assist to Anunga, which also was a back pass. I don't think that he had any forward passing tonight. But so tell me give me your impressions of, because we didn't see a lot of youngsters tonight. But so tell me what you saw. Think of our first start from Nialis.
The run wasn't really a pass when he moved the ball towards the goal. But I think he did excellent, first off. I have to praise him for his play. I think when it came to impact on the game, he may have been passing, more laterally, towards the back, but he didn't pass to their team. His passes were mostly complete. So there was that one instance that someone pointed out, very thankfully, where he was over on the touchline and kind of let it go out for a Chicago throw. But aside from that, even when he was passing back, it was to our players. Now, there was that time where he could have got a through ball, I think, to Mukhtar, was it Sapong? But he went instead for a cross, and it was a really nice cross. Found out he was right-footed. Beautiful right foot, because it was a really nice cross that dipped in. Good pace on it. The only problem is it was just a little too late. And I noticed that there was a lot of hesitancy in how he played, because he was probably nervous. It was his first appearance in MLS. And, I mean, I think he did well. I think he just, will build up over time this confidence on the ball, and we'll see what he does from there.
So let's talk a little bit about the defense. We gave up one goal tonight. But let's talk about the defense in the first half, and then maybe the defense in the second half, because in some ways they're two different stories. First half, we saw again a back three with Mayer, Baba, and Romney across three in the back, and then we had some wingers. But one of the things that I was noticing was how nervous everyone was around their 27. And so, again, sort of taller fella. So give me your impression of how the defense was playing and how they handled the really direct play that Chicago was, especially early on.
Well, early on, I was scared because I felt like Six was running across that left wing. Or was it the right wing? I don't remember. But anyway, he had his left wing. Our left wing. But anyway, him doing that was dangerous, and I thought he was trying to get balls into Beric, the 23. Yeah. Beric. And him being so physically imposing, it made it tough. I mean, honestly, though, I think Jalil Anibaba held back everything. Like, he was the glue, being right dead in the center. It came down to him and Willis at certain points with getting the ball, cleared away. I mean,
Willis's saves really because there were a couple times that things kind of trickled through, and Willis was able to kind of shore things up whenever from the back there. But I think you're right. I think that Ani Baba played a great central role there. Mayer was pretty jumpy, was grabbing shirts.
I was going to say Mayer, then my next thought was Mayer was just early on grabbing folks, and yeah.
So, what did you think about? I had some opinions earlier on about the red card. Tell me your opinions about the red card and how Chicago played once they were man down.
Well, I don't see why they didn't make any subs before the half. I mean, being down a defender and your captain, number 4. I don't know his name, starts with an F. But why would you not make it? For one, why would you not make a sub? For two, why would you not change formation? And third, I just don't see why you wouldn't change how you play after something like that. But yeah, going down a man meant that there were too many avenues open for Sapong, Mukhtar, and Leal. Although I wanted to see Leal score. He really wanted to score.
Leal really wanted to score. So I got 2 more questions for you. Both of them really having to do with development. So one of them is how do you think that we handled our subs, and what kind of lessons, what sort of, I mean, by my estimate, and so again, I'm going to just maybe sort of let you kind of use this as a foil. By my estimate, given the fact that we were up, maybe we had a chance to give some of our youngsters some opportunities to play on the field, but we kind of put on the rest of our sort of first stringers or the rest of it. And then the second and related question is, given the fact that we had 3 out for the internationals, 3 internationals out, we played a kind of a different kind of formation. It looked like things happened well for us. Was it just Chicago, or was it the formation?
Honestly, the formation I think was good because the 3, well, as you mentioned before, we're a really defensively built team. The 3 across the back, especially working well for us. With the 4 in the midfield, with the 2 wingers that can drop back too, and with of course Niall is playing in Johnston's role since he's out. So we've got Johnston, Zimmerman, and Godoy out. So quite a few. I mean, John Cadiz was able to come back, although I don't think he was extremely impactful coming on from Mukhtar. It didn't matter much because we were up as much as we were, but
he's such a frustrating player.
Yeah.
He is so frustrating.
He is a frustrating player to watch at times. Although we do see what Benfica sees in him. It's that right boot.
It's that right boot and his head, because he just towers over everybody, and he knows how to get his head on things. Yeah. It's just that he doesn't keep track of whether or not defenders are around him, and so he's regularly offside. Yeah. He's badly timed on stuff. It's just...
He had a flick where he didn't look to see who was around him before he did it, because it was really wasteful. It leads to wasteful play, where there are chances created that just go nowhere because he flicks it off to nowhere land. I mean, yeah.
So, okay, so one last question. What do you expect, especially given this play, whenever the internationals come back?
Well, we know almost. I don't have to expect it, but Zimmerman back will have a lot of depth defensively. But going back, we'll be able to make those kind of changes and make different calls on format and positioning.
You think we'll stick with the 3? We're going to go back to the 4.
I think we might go back to the 4 because Johnson will come back. Now the thing is, with how Niall is played, if Johnson's gone for this next game is in 8 days, I think, or 7 days. If Johnson's not back and Niall gets another good game, he might have to fight for that role on right back. Honestly, maybe.
Johnson's too positive a player. I mean, Niall is not. I mean, Niall's had a good game and no mistakes, but no real positivity. He had the assist to Anunga, and let's not take away from that. But not the amount of positivity and aggressive play that we see from Johnston. I mean, there's a reason why Johnston is a starter for Canada.
You're right. You're okay. I admit defeat on that play. I think Scott's just right on that. I think Johnston's just good. Yeah.
Niall is a good player. But he's not going to be taking Johnston's spot, and neither will Muil if it's a winger spot. So Johnston comes back, he gets to play.
Well, Muil is another thing because last game it didn't work at all. That's why he put Niall this game.
That's why Niall got to play, was because Muil had a terrible game. Yeah. All right, so I think that we're in agreement about a lot of stuff. NSC Fan TV, Drew, you feel like you said your piece?
Scott, you feel like you have?
I feel like I did.
Okay.
All right.